my seamless transition, which is my second presentation. And this is English qualifications for international purposes. There are many good qualifications in English. I'm from Cambridge ESOL and I believe in our products, but there are many good qualifications out there. But what this presentation aims to do is to make you think about, when you start to think about which qualification is appropriate for your needs and for your students' needs, what should you look at? What should you think about? And for me, 5 things spring to mind. But you should consider whether the exam is fit for purpose. You need to be assured of the quality of the exam and the security under which it's administered. You need to be confident that there's a good provision of test dates, and you need to know that it's appropriately and widely recognised. Whether the exam is low or high stakes, all of these aspects are important. But when the examination is for high stakes international purposes, they're crucial. And I'd like to look at these aspects one at a time, starting with fitness for purpose. The first question you need to determine is, what kind of English are you concerned with? Is it general English, or academic English, or a more specific requirement, such a test which focuses on legal or financial English, or one which is aimed at the medical or hospitality sectors? Or it might be a qualification which is aimed at teachers rather than students. And to what purpose will the test be used? In the case of general English, are you concerned with an exam which tests children? If so, will the test be used in a formative way to track the child's progression through a language programme, but nevertheless be recognised by an international standard? Or will it be used in a summative capacity, for example as part of the end-of-school matriculation, providing the child with the additional bonus of having an internationally recognised and therefore transportable qualification? Is it being taken by the child to prove his or her language ability when applying to a new school? For example, in some countries, the Cambridge ESOL Young Learner tests, which are aimed at 7 to 12-year-olds, are being used as one of the criteria required for entrance to secondary school. Or is the exam being used by a Ministry of Education to establish the level of language ability of all of the school children in the country? On the other hand, you may be more concerned with the test of general English for adults. Is the purpose of the test to demonstrate the candidate's language ability and its appropriacy for a particular job? Is it being used for immigration purposes? Some adults take exams for the fun of it, but if you're going to put yourself through the agonies of studying and the exam experience, it may as well have a secondary use, as well as personal fulfilment, in case it proves useful in the future. And some adults take exams in English in a conscious effort to enhance their educational portfolio. Then there's the academic focus. While a qualification in general English is sometimes accepted for foundation courses in colleges and universities, internationally recognised tests of academic English are usually required for admission to degree programmes. In addition, some universities include internationally recognised qualifications in their language programmes to chart the progression of a student through the course or as part of the end-of-course qualification. And then there's a recognition of academic English qualifications as well as general English for immigration purposes. If we take the example of business English, this can be used in 2 ways. It may be an internationally recognised certificated examination, such as the business English certificates, which will satisfy the same sort of requirements as academic English, or it may be a non-certificated test, such as BULATS, which is used by multinational organisations to ensure standards within their companies but across countries are being maintained. And then there's the teaching awards. Perhaps you're concerned with tests for teachers of language, a demonstration of the teacher's command of the language, or one which focuses on the core teaching knowledge that's needed by teachers. Perhaps you're looking for a test of teachers' practical teaching abilities, or a test of how different features of English work from a teaching perspective, or even tests which focus on how to plan, teach and assess curriculum subjects taught in English. Certificated exams provide candidates with a transportable means of proving their language ability. Non-certificated exams, on the other hand, offer institutions and employers a quick and reliable method of assessing their students' or employees' language skills. In deciding whether or not a language is fit for purpose, you also have to consider which skills need to be tested, and whether or not a communicative approach is required. In the aeronautical industry, for example, there's a requirement, or a recommendation, shall I say, by the International Civil Aviation Organization that all pilots and air traffic controllers who operate in international airspace must have a minimum level of proficiency in speaking plain English. And it's not a pun, and when I say plain English, I mean the type of English that's spoken in everyday situations, not the language of aeronautical phraseology. The skills of reading and writing are less important. What is required is the ability to be able to communicate in an emergency when the aeronautical phraseologies don't satisfy. In an academic context, however, all of the skills are important. The ability to read long texts and to interpret diagrams and charts, the ability to write an extended and coherent